All right, look, man. Let me talk to you like I'm sitting right across from you because this whole tax the rich situation in Chicago is the biggest example of how common sense just completely left the building. Like, bro, we really got to sit down and walk through this because the way this city just fumbled the bag is actually insane. I ain't even talking theory or politics right now. I'm talking basic economics, high school level logic, and real life consequences that you can feel in your pocket. So, boom, Chicago just dropped them property tax bills, and folks out here crying basically. And I'm not talking about regular people crying like, dang, it went up a little. I'm talking people saw their taxes jump 80%, 100%, and even 130% in places like West Garfield Park and Lawndale. So if you let that sink in, imagine you were paying $2,000 a year, and now you're getting slapped with a bill that's $4,500 out of nowhere. That's not a minor increase. That's eviction energy, and that's what we not taking that vacation this year. That's what we get to. We cutting the AC off during the day type vibes. That's where we get to the we might move a level type of stress. And here's the coldest part: it's hitting the black and brown communities the hardest. The exact same folks the city said they were trying to help. The same people the mayor promised he was protecting because you know a lot of people, especially in the black community, I'm talking about the majority, not the minority, tend to vote based on identity politics when it comes to voting in someone like their own in this case, I can say in so many words. They voted someone in black because they feel as though, oh, we have a black mayor, it'll empower the black people. And you do have some pro black individuals out there. Now, I am the type of individual, I don't care about the color of your skin. I actually care about the content of your character. But you have people who vote based on identity politics. And this is what happens when you vote in a world history slash geography teacher um, that knows nothing about running a business because you have to be able to run a city in a big city like Chicago and run this country just like a business, right? So I believe, and that's just my opinion. Let me know you guys' thoughts down in the comments below. That if someone haven't been able or haven't tried to even build the business from the ground up, they should not be trying to run a city or be the president. That's just my opinion. Let alone on top of if you was born American, then you're able to run for these offices. I don't think no one that's outside of the country should be able to run for these offices besides someone who is born here in America. But that's just my opinion. We just having a conversation as usual. But like I'm saying, the same people the mayor promised he was protecting, which is the black and brown communities. Now everybody's sitting here confused, like, yo, how did this happen? Then we vote for the guy that he said he was going to tax the rich and protect the working class. And that's when I got to be the one to say it, bro. You got finessed. You got hit with the progressive version of a Ponzi scheme where they promise you sugar and spice and all you got was the bill. But check out this clip.
People may have sticker shock. The Cook County Treasurer's Office has been analyzing the new tax bills and says that citywide, the median residential bill jumped more than 16%. That's the biggest increase in at least 30 years. The Treasurer's Office says city spending increased and there are fewer commercial spaces to pay their share of the pie. Treasurer Maria Pappas says there has been a sharp drop in the value of downtown commercial buildings, paying about $120 million less this cycle. That's because of higher vacancy rates over the years.
It went down in a landslide and it's coming back like a snail, slowly, very slowly, and not fast enough to handle these residences who are carrying the burden of it, because many of them are unrented. Many of these places are unrented. The taxes went down. What happened was the residences ended up picking up the bulk of these tax increases.
And the hardest hit, predominantly black and brown communities on the south and west sides. In West Garfield Park, bills soared 133%. North Lawndale saw a 99% spike. And in Englewood, taxes climbed more than 80%. The treasurer says many of those homes have been undervalued before the most recent assessment.
Well, there you have it, folks. When you really look at this thing, because let's rewind and break this down from the top. And I'm going to explain it so clearly that even your grandma who still pays her bills with a checkbook will be like, oh, that's what happened. So Mayor Brandon Johnson comes in on that feel good for the people campaign. He's saying, I'm not going to raise your property taxes. I'm going to tax the rich. Sounds great, right? You sitting here like, hell yeah, finally someone's sticking it to the billionaires. But let's pause, because what does tax the rich really mean when you're the mayor of one city and the rich can just leave? Like, for real, how do you tax somebody how do you tax somebody who can hop on a private jet and run a company from Florida, Texas, or Dubai if they feel like it? You think Jeff Bezos of Amazon is sweating a new head tax in Chicago? Man, he'll move his whole team in 2 weeks. So what really happened is that these businesses saw what was coming: higher taxes, higher fees, more red tape. And on top of that, Chicago's dealing with high crime, messy politics, and soft on crime policies, because we know Chicago is a sanctuary city. They believe it protecting illegal migrants. So that's a receipt for businesses to go, yeah, no thanks. And they dipped. And when they dipped, they took their jobs, the investments, and most importantly, their tax money with them. So now this is where it gets real for you, the average Joe American and taxpayer, right? Because when the businesses leave, the city still needs money. Garbage still got to get picked up. Schools still got to run. Pension checks still got to go out. But the downtown loop, which used to be the cash cow, we talking skyscrapers paying millions in taxes, is now looking like a ghost town. And that's the reality of everything. Now check out this clip in regards to the matter.
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson's proposal for corporate head tax has dealt a major blow today.
City council members sent a clear message they do not support it. Political reporter Paris Schutz has the latest.
Yeah, Dawn and Terrence, the mayor wanted to have his budget approved this week, but city council had a different idea. Members of city council's finance committee voted down the mayor's controversial employee head tax today by a wide 25-10 vote. It was part of a vote on the mayor's entire revenue package, which included, by our count, more than 20 different taxes and fees going up. But these 25 alders made it clear there will be no tax hikes unless there are more spending reductions.
Ask them if they support raising property taxes in Englewood and North Lawndale. Ask them if they support collecting a grocery tax. Ask them that. If you ask me, I guess what I'm going to tell you? I'm going to tell you no, because I believe in being straight up with the people of the city of Chicago. There are two options here. We challenge these big corporations and the ultra-rich to put more skin in the game, or you ask people who are standing in line for bread, milk, and food and clothing, ask them to put more skin in the game.
Now that's a frustrating.
He just told you. If I rewind it, he's basically saying, look, either the rich is going to get taxed and put more skin in the game, quote unquote, or you, the average Joe American in Chicago, is going to put more skin in the game. So y'all got two options, and y'all have to choose one. Which one isn't better over the other? The rich get taxed. If they flee, then you get taxed. So rewind it. Check out what he said.
Ultra-rich to put more skin in the game, or you ask people who are standing in line for bread, milk, and food and clothing, ask them to put more skin in the game.
People that stand in the line for bread, milk, or clothing, ask them to put more skin in the game. If you taxing the rich and they got to put skin in the game, if they don't want to, then people who is in line for bread, clothing, and milk, they have to put more skin in the game. This is what Chicago voted for. He's telling you what your ultimatum is, and y'all got to deal with it.
Now that's a frustrated Mayor Johnson after this vote today, saying, well, alders, if you have better ideas than the ones I proposed, come and talk to me. Now it came today after furious budget changes at the last minute, arm twisting, backroom meetings, and it comes as Cook County property tax owners, as you see there, are opening their bills, and residential homeowners on the south and west sides are seeing historically large increases, partly due to a decline in values in the loop. So that means everyone else has to make up the difference. But Mayor Johnson says It's further reason not to propose any city property tax. The alders that voted no today say, well, they got ideas.
I want to make perfectly clear that this committee right here is willing and able to stand and work with the mayor to come up with a balanced budget. The notion that we are not bringing ideas to the forefront is a farce. We are willing and able, anytime, anywhere, we will meet to help pass a responsible, balanced budget. We just want cuts and efficiencies.
So the mayor today, because of this loss, is calling for a pause on any votes on the budget. Let's regroup, back to the drawing board. He is sticking strong that he wants that employee head tax, but these 25 alders sent a very clear message that that's going to be very difficult to get done. They just have to get this budget passed by the end of December. And Terrence will have more tonight at 10 on the Chicago Report.
Well, there you have it, right? So now, like I said, it's a ghost town, right? Because the downtown loot, which used to be a cash cow, skyscrapers paying millions in taxes, is a ghost town because you got empty buildings, no rent coming in. And guess what that means? Those buildings lose value. And when they lose value, they pay less in property taxes. So now the city's looking around like, damn, we short 120 million. And who they come to next? You, the homeowner, the renter, the everyday person who can't move to Florida. So they start reassessing homes in neighborhoods that used to be undervalued, and boom, your house is suddenly worth more on paper and your tax bill just doubled, tripled, or more. And you sitting here like, wait, how is my Englewood home worth 80% more all of a sudden? Ain't nothing even changed on the block. It's still ghetto. Crime is still running rampant. But that's exactly my point. The value didn't go up. The city just needs money. And you're the last one left holding the bag because all the rich folks already packed up and left. But he wants you to put more skin in the game. So when you vote in the dummy like this, you're going to pay the consequence. But you got 13% of black and brown individuals who don't even make up half the damn voter pool or don't care to vote because they feel like they vote don't count. And I'm just being real with you because I come from a black family. Obviously, I'm black. But I'm telling you the simple fact that a lot of individuals vote either off of emotions, identity politics because somebody look like you, but not actually policy or read the policy, which is openly disclosed to you. To see how it impacts you long term, rather it's you, your property taxes, your living, the regular basic essentials of taxes and things that go up, and also the next generation if you have dependents, aka children. So then you become ignorant. And what happens with ignorance is you're going to pay the price. And Chicago is a hellhole. And they paying the price. Because like I said, you want to vote in a world history teacher? That's what you get. I don't even know what you guys seen in this man to see him viable as to be a mayor to run a big city as Chicago when he hasn't done a damn thing or ran any type of or took any job in the private sector that had to deal with balances and budgets to make you feel that he would be able to budget effectively Chicago. Not to mention that he just came right after Mary Lightfoot or Mayor Beetlejuice, who just made the city even worse because I don't think she done shit. That's just my honest opinion. So when you really look at all these things, it's a shame because the people suffer, the working class people, the lower class individuals, and they can't just up and leave. So they have to deal with it because this is their livelihood and this is where they have to stay. Right? But he don't care. This man has a full-fledged of security, but he has a shortage with police officers to even protect the community. But he's upping your property taxes like the value of the community went up. The whole block is still ghetto. Broken up, potholes everywhere. It's not even nothing to justify the cost to feel like he should up the value of your home in the city because the city is in shambles. Chicago is going to go bankrupt. That's what I'm telling you. So now I want you guys to check this out.
Schutz, who's here now, just back from City Hall, and you've got a little bit of breaking news.
Well, it looks like that corporate head tax that folks are concerned about, it was dealt a major blow. The City Council Finance Committee held a vote on it today, and They rejected it by a vote of 25 to 10. So
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
that's kind of a blowout here. And so the Finance Committee is kind of like the harbinger of where council is on this. So if it can't pass the committee, it's not going to pass the full city council. And the mayor has a lot of work to do. But they were clear in their message. We are not for this. We listen to the business community. We fear that that's going to drive them away. And so they voted it down. So it's back to work.
And driving more businesses down is one of the biggest issues that keeps coming back up. And when we were talking about property taxes earlier today with Maria Pappas, and she was talking, well, if you have all of these empty storefronts,
Right.
you know, how the consumer or, you know, the home buyer then ends up picking up that burden.
Yeah, and that the alderman in opposition to the head tax tried to connect those two things. So what the Pappas study showed is that because there's vacancy in the loop, these property values are going down. And this is the loop is the piggy bank for all of the city. This is where all the revenue comes in that helps programs that support the west and the south side. So what these alders are saying is if you pass a head tax, you're encouraging employers to locate elsewhere, not in Chicago, which will drive those values down even further in the loop, which will hurt the entire city. That's the point they tried to make.
So the corporate head tax, which even the governor was not on board for,
Right.
gets a no. Okay.
Right, that's a no.
But there are several more taxes
right.
that are still in the works. Where
So
are
so and here's the thing, they all today's vote was on the revenue package, so it was all the taxes and fees. They all got the no. So I don't know if the viewers here, the streamers, want me to list every single one. We counted more than 22.
We've got time.
Okay, all the proposed
All right, so you seen that, you heard that.
hikes here: wheel tax, personal property lease tax, regulated and limited business license, food business license, commercial boat passenger license, recycling facility operator fine, annual food establishment inspection fee, public health violation inspection fee, boat mooring tax. You know, all you boat owners out there. Rideshare congestion fee expansion, storage and towing fee, livery vehicle license tax, commercial driveway permit fee, canopy construction scaffolding permit fee, work vehicles obstructing the public way fee, vacant building / property registration fee, employee head tax, which we mentioned,
Right.
social media amusement tax, DOB, trade license fees, online sports wagering. Woo.
Yeah.
Those are all the taxes and fees that the mayor proposed to hike.
This man is crazy. So let's get into the logic, real talk. And then I got one more clip to show you guys. Real talk. 'Cause this ain't even about left or right politically. This is about using your brain. You don't need a Harvard economics degree to get this. Imagine you run a lemonade stand. You charge $1 per cup. You make money, people love it. Then someone comes along and says, yo, you got to give us 40% of your earnings to the block association and pay a new fee every time you hire a helper. Are you going to stay on that block? Hell no. You're going to pack up your table, go 2 streets over, and sell lemonade where they leave you alone. That's literally what businesses in Chicago are doing. They are not evil. They are not screwing you over. They just don't want to operate in a place that punishes them for growing. So when you create a hostile environment for business, you lose business, period. And when you lose business, your city's revenue shrinks. And when your city's revenue shrinks, the people can't, and the people who can't leave are the ones who get hit the hardest. That's called a death spiral. And don't even get me started on the corporate head tax, because that Mayor Johnson tried to push, that you guys heard all the list of all the taxes, because bro is literally trying to tax businesses for every employee they hire. That's like taxing a basketball team for putting players on the court. You're trying to punish companies for employing people, for creating jobs, and then you wonder why unemployment stays high and companies look at Chicago like a no-fly zone. Even the city council is like, nah, we not rolling with that. And they voted that tax down. Right? 0.25 to 10. And these ain't even conservatives voting no. These are Democrats. And it's people from his own side who realize, yo, we can't keep chasing businesses out the city and then cry when there's no money left. But here's the scam. Really comes full circle. Because the very communities that voted for these policies and voted for Mayor Brandon Johnson, believing they were going to get protected, are the ones getting cooked.
Many Cook County residents are reeling today from a whopping property tax bill that came out late and much higher than expected. Chicago's south and west sides are seeing some of the biggest increases. Our political reporter Chris Ty has more on why downtown may be to blame and what some residents are doing about it.
The pain is real here in North Lawndale, where property tax bills are going up on average 98%. In West Garfield Park, it's up over 130%. And one of the main reasons why is because of what's happening or not happening over there in downtown Chicago, where in the Loop, they've collected 129 million fewer property tax dollars this year than they did last year.
My property taxes went up 75.86%. And so
Richard Townsell of North Lawndale has a friend who saw his jump 237%.
my wife and I, we had a budget meeting last week as we were looking at this. You know, does that mean maybe we don't take the vacation we thought we were going to take?
Thank you all for coming.
A frustration that this weekend led to this bill burning, led by the Lawndale Christian Development Corporation, which he is executive director.
It was a Boston Tea Party kind of moment where it's like taxation without representation. What do we do about this? Not just whine about it.
One idea is to
Look at this, bro. They're having a bonfire. They call themselves revolting against the taxes that Mayor Brandon Johnson is trying to propose while their property taxes is going up. And they're having a bonfire. This is called hope. Hoping that their bills get paid. Hoping that these taxes don't be implemented. That's all this is hope. But then the ignorant individuals who didn't vote and didn't vote correctly, see, this is why you got to do your research. And that's why if you don't vote for the general election, such as the president, you damn sure better vote and look into who your local legislators is. Get into your community meetings. Actually see what's going on. Actually know what's going on, because then, see, the problem is you want to wait until the situation happened, but then you want to be reactive. And now they having a bonfire, but they could have been proactive if they voted the right way.
which he is executive director.
It was a Boston Tea Party kind of moment where it's like taxation without representation. What do we do about this? Not just whine about it.
One idea is to lobby for a state law in Illinois, similar to one in California, that caps property tax hikes at no more than 2% a year. Consider Englewood residents saw an 82% jump this year, an average of $609. In North Lawndale, it was $1,900, and in Garfield Park, it was $2,000.
I think it's incumbent upon us as citizens to give our elected officials what we want. We should be pressing them around the bills that we want to see, not waiting for them to come up with a solution.
That's why you vote. You're talking about pressing them, but they already got in office. You should have been pressing them when they were running to be elected. This is what I mean. You late to the party, bruh.
County Treasurer Maria Pappas says is what's happening downtown.
All these high-rises, commercial buildings that you see downtown are unrented because the businesses have left the city. So somebody had to pick it up. So the residences are picking it up.
Picking it up begrudgingly.
I think government needs to learn how to live in their means, because guess what? You and I don't get 100% income.
Well, who is you and I? Because the rich is gone. It's you, my guy. You and your ignorance. But anyway, man, it's wild to me. Like I said, this is all a Ponzi scheme. They're getting cooked. Black and brown neighborhoods. People who were told we got your back are now, you saw it, lighting their tax bills on fire in a protest like it's a Boston Tea Party. And they call it taxation like without representation all over again. But you voted for somebody who said, trust me, I'll make the rich pay. And now you staring at a tax bill so big you need a payment plan. You ever been so blindsided by a bill you start doing mental math like, if I stop eating out, cancel Netflix, cut off the cable, and sell blah, 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 maybe I can make it work. That's what people in Chicago are going through right now. And it's unfortunate. It's not theory, it's not tweets, it's real lives being affected by bad economics dressed up as justice. Right? And look, let's talk about the Gen Z real quick. All love to y'all, but I gotta say it. Some of y'all are way too comfortable repeating slogans like "eat the rich" and "socialism now," and without even knowing what the hell that means. Y'all don't even know what y'all talking about because y'all here posting tax to 1% from your iPhones while you sipping, I don't know, Starbucks or hot chocolate with oat milk in it. I don't know, which is literally $1 billion corporation. You think it's just magically printed, bro? Even the monopoly money printer got limits. When you push tax the rich in a local economy, all that happens is the rich relocate. And the government turns around and taxes the middle and the poor to cover the loss. And that's not an option. That's a historical fact. You can look at San Francisco. You can look at New York. You can look at Seattle. It happens every time. So let me land this plane. Chicago is a live action case study on why progressive economic fantasy doesn't work in reality. You can't keep taxing the productive parts of your economy and expect them to stay. And you can't refuse to cut government spending and then cry when there's a deficit. And you damn sure can't lie to people and tell them they'll be protected. And then watch them get priced out their homes with a shrug. But I also got to hold the residents and the Chicagoans accountable because you voted this man in. So what's happening in Chicago right now is the natural consequence of policies that sound good but don't think ahead. And every single person who voted for this with good intentions, I guess they seen it as, but then look at the facts, is now learning the hardest economics lesson in the world. See, a lot of times when it comes to the black and brown communities, they suffer because they are ignorant, meaning not educated. If you would have been educated, you would have made more of an educational decision or a logical decision based on you knowing what you're voting for. Because if you had the knowledge, I bet you they would have voted different. If you kill the engine, the car don't move. And if you push away the earners, the city don't earn. And if you keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result, it's not progressive. That's insane. So I'm going to leave it there. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Mayor Brandon Johnson is going to be the worst mayor in the United States of America history. I do not like this guy. This guy has a hardened heart and he don't give a damn. But I'll catch you in the next one. Give this video a big thumbs up if you got some value. Subscribe to the family if you haven't. Come and join the family. I appreciate you for rocking with me. Love y'all. Peace.